Hi, everyone, and welcome back to IB Bites, a series of bite-sized vlogs I created for my students to help them boost their English scores. Today's focus is on a practical and actually doable guide to the IO, or independent oral. I'm going to show you how to find a global issue in 5 simple steps. Before we do that, let's quickly go over the IO assessment component. If you're looking for a more detailed account, everything you need to know is in the 2026 guide, page 56 on the Langlet guide. The independent oral is a 10-minute oral presentation between the student and the teacher, with an additional 5-minute Q&A afterwards. During those 10 minutes, the student presents a global issue across 2 works. For Langlet students, they choose a lit text and a non-lit text, whereas lit students choose 2 lit texts, one of which must be in translation. I use this analogy of a pair of jeans with my students. The same global issue is run through each work separately, not compared. It runs through 3 parts of the work, the main extract, and 2 references within that work. Each part informs the global issue in a unique way, so that by the end of the presentation, the student will have informed the global issue in at least 6 ways. But before all of that happens, the students need to choose a global issue, which is why we're here today. Choosing a global issue is in itself a major pain point. So to make things easier for my students, I came up with these 5 simple questions. First, how to find the extract, how to define the global theme, how to narrow that field down to a specific global issue, and then how to recognize its impact and its outcome. For example, the first question, which moment in the work stayed with you and why, is designed to help students find an exact extract. Choosing an extract isn't about finding the most literary passage. It's about authenticity. When students start with something that genuinely moves them, surprises them, unsettles them, their analysis has energy and authenticity, and that authenticity keeps them focused, keeps them motivated. One of my students responded to this question with the most salient moment in the novel Persepolis for them was the moment that Margie publicly challenges her teacher's lie about political prisoners, because it shows her courage and honesty in a system that punishes truth. This event became that student's chosen main extract. It stuck with that student, and she wanted to understand why it meant so much to her. The second question is, in that moment, is the character celebrating something, resisting something, or suffering because of something? This prompts the student to focus on a global theme, otherwise known as fields of inquiry. So these fields are outlined on page 57 of the guide. They provide examples of possible dimensions, such as race, power, identity, and more, that offer students a way into exploring and narrowing down a global issue. So my students' response to this question is that in the moment, Margie pushes back against the government control by speaking out against the lies she's being told. So she's resisting. This detail, resisting the government, specifically and government control, pinpoints the field of inquiry, that global theme, to politics, power, and justice. Now, knowing the field of inquiry helps students narrow their search for a global issue using specific questions, such as how political systems exert power, how individuals navigate or defy them, which is the case here, and what justice might mean in contexts of repression. So to narrow that field even further, the third question, what exactly is happening and what's causing it, is designed to help students target a specific global issue. The student's response is that Margie is being punished for telling the truth about political executions, and it's caused by a regime using schools to silence dissent and enforce loyalty. This attention to detail narrows the field to a very specific global focus, speaking truth against state power. This is just the first part, though. There are two more parts to the global issue: its impact and its outcome. If this is helping you with IB English, maybe give it a like and share it with someone who's also struggling. It really does make a difference. And I just want to say thanks to everyone for being here. All right, the fourth question: what was the impact of the situation? Guide students to acknowledge that the global issue actually has an impact. The student's response is that Margie is later expelled, showing how authoritarian systems punish truth tellers to maintain power and suppress free thought. That impact, Margie's eventual expulsion from school, forms the second part of the global issue. The last question: how does that impact change the character or others? What does it reveal? This question acknowledges the outcome. The student's response is that this punishment changes Margie by strengthening her voice and resilience. It also reveals how repression can backfire because her speaking out inspired others to question authority as well. This outcome becomes the third and final piece of the global issue. Speaking truth against state authority often incurs punishment, yet it can also strengthen personal resilience and inspire others to act with courage and conviction. In short, a global issue has three parts: the issue, speaking truth to the state authority or against; the issue, impact, often incurs punishment; its outcome, yet ironically, that punishment can also strengthen personal resilience and inspire others to act with courage and conviction. I came up with these 5 simple questions to make it easier for my students to find an extract, to define the global theme, to narrow that field down to a specific global issue, then recognize its impact and outcome. I hope that these 5 questions work for you. They have been very successful for my students. I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and happy analyzing.